To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Okay, so I'm back at the tiny house build again today. And before I get into what terrible things my subscribers have accused me of, I want to talk about the tiny house for a little bit, of course, because that's what my main project's been for the last, oh gosh, couple months now. After yesterday's terrible mistake right there, pretty heartbroken about it, but I was going to cut this ridge cap and I was going to put over it, but that would require a lot of screws and it would introduce the possibility of leaking in the future. So Carolyn and I decided that we're going to get a 1x6 and we're going to paint it the same color as the soffit plate there. We'll just lay that over the seam and all this buckling that's going on. Okay, so then today, all I got to do is put on one panel. Got to cut one angle, and I'm going to put up 2 pieces of trim on the sides. That way, all visible sides will be covered and decorated. The only side I have to do then is the door side, which is where the porch is going to be. I can make a lot of mistakes there. I can cover it all up with the porch, so it's not such a critical area. One of the things that I had to do was I had to cut around this tongue. Somebody suggested that I take the tongue off. You know, it should be bolted on, but it's not, it's welded on. What I failed to mention in that video when I said it was welded on was I have to have it there. A lot of people just say cut it off. When the code inspector came by, he wanted to check if I was dumping sewage in the creek. But while he was here, I had the floor done to the tiny house. He was talking about it. I thought, and still do believe, that since the house is under 200 square feet, that I don't have to comply with a lot of code restrictions. I could take shortcuts that I felt like I could take. But he said that, yeah, you could use that one, but on the other hand, it's on a trailer frame. It's not even classified as a house. It's a trailer. So my thinking is if I cut the trailer tongue off, then it won't be a trailer anymore, it'd just be a metal frame. And then it's classified as a house, I think. I mean, I don't know. Now, as far as an axle, a lot of people have noticed this thing doesn't have an axle. No, it doesn't have an axle, but it has the hookups to an axle. So all I got to do is get the axle and put it on. So even if the code inspector came out and said it doesn't have an axle, I can show them that, oh, all I got to do is go buy one. See, this used to be a mobile home. It's a mobile home trailer is what it is. It's my understanding that the mobile home company that delivers it sometimes owns the axle and the wheels. So that may be the case here. Now, I was talking about putting a bathroom in the house, and I don't know where the confusion came in at. We're going to have a bathroom. We're going to have a toilet and a shower. And I bet I got 30 or 40 people to say, why build a bathroom in the house? Build an outhouse. Well, I don't want to build an outhouse. It's cold right now. I don't like going outside in the cold, especially 2 a.m. It's bad enough right now. I have to get up at 1:30 to put wood in the Franklin wood stove outside. Next year, I don't want to have to deal with that. I just like to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. But a couple things to that. One, we have a septic tank. It needs repaired, and it's not even a costly repair. Maybe that's where the confusion came in at. It's not costly at all. I just got to build this. The front wall had a problem. I just got to lift the cap up. I might have to rent a machine, and that's $150 an hour. It's not even that expensive. Lift the cap up, fix the front wall, put the cap back down. We got the drain field, got everything we need here. And the code inspector that was here suggested that we repair this. Why do anything that would upset him? Okay. It's a cheap fix. There's no way I would do anything else. Now, as far as an outhouse, in Missouri, you can have an outhouse if you have 3 or more acres. I don't have 3 or more acres. I got 1.5 acres. And so that would raise red flags. Not to mention, I just don't want to do it. So yeah, all the suggestions about composting the waste and all that, I just don't see the point when we have a suitable receptacle for waste. And the code inspector liked the idea. So, I mean, I'm just not going to fight that. Okay, so after further analysis of my mistake yesterday, I figured out what I did wrong. I was measuring from the window up to that spot right there. So I had a level on the window frame and I was measuring up. The measurement was good. There was nothing wrong with the measurement. But when I came over to transfer it to the paneling that I had on the back of the truck, the one I actually put up there, I measured it from the wrong side. I measured it from the top down. I should have measured it from the window up. That caused my problem. It was just a confusion. It was human error, which is good because the philosophy that I've been using has worked very well. I got all the other panels and it worked great. So it's not the technique, it was just my mistake. Terrible mistake. One that I'm going to hate for the rest of the time I live in this place. I'm going to always know that I made that mistake. What I'm going to do today to avoid this mistake is I've been using temporary paneling, this scrap over here, to give me the width so I know how far to measure down. Well, out here in space, I don't know where it ends at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a piece of temporary paneling here. So just a piece of scrap. That way I know exactly where my measurements are. Okay, so this is what I was telling you earlier, that I was just going to hang a piece of scrap here. So now we can see this is actually a piece of scrap that isn't even wide, the full width. This is short. I cut it off right here. So I have to cut whatever this distance is, 2.5 feet probably. But now I can come to the bottom of my tape measure, hook it off to the bottom of the panel here, and I can measure straight up to the top. That'll give me my distance. And then I come over to the other side right here, and I do the same thing to the top. That'll give me my angle. Okay, so I got my marks made. So I got the angle, which is the mistake I made yesterday. And I also have the cut that I need to trim this back with. Remember, it's not a full panel width. Now, I did check to make sure that my angle was correct. I used a scrap piece from my very first cut, the one I actually got the most perfect, and I laid it up against this angle on my panel. Now, cutting this is going to be a challenge, so what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it on this crate so I can cut the length of it. It's a very long piece. It's over 11 feet long. Ha-ha! It fits! I feel like I've redeemed myself from yesterday's terrible mistake. Ha-ha! Look at that! Look at that! All right! I got the 3 walls done now. Got the trim up. Man, I'll tell you, that looks fantastic. I just am totally liking this. I'll come up here so you can see the roof and the walls all together. Man, it looks, I just love it. This just looks so nice. Of course, we don't have the back done, but this is the most visible portion of the house right here, this corner. So you got the chimney. I just love that chimney. Look at that. And the brown against that tan. Man. So I only got a couple more days work now on the back side of the house around that door. Shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, so I need to address some slanderous information about me before it gets way too out of hand. So a while back, I was telling everybody that we have a feral cat around here. And I've talked about her 2 or 3 times. Sometimes you'll see her in the pictures. It's actually he, but I'm convinced it's a she. When I was growing up, it was dogs were males, cats were females. So I always slip up and say she, but so she just started coming around and we started feeding her. But I haven't really mentioned her much anymore. I mean, she's not really around a lot. Well, recently people have been asking about this feral cat. And now it's getting out of hand. They're saying that I've done something terrible to it. I've harmed this cat because I didn't want to feed it anymore. Well, that's just not true. I feed her every day 6 or 7 times a day. Now there's her plate of food right there. She's fattening up for the winter. I bet she's gained 10 pounds since it started turning cold. She's actually starting to stay around here more often. She's made herself a little bed underneath the overhang of the camper here on a piece of ventilation that I had left over. It's just our little junk shed. So she's been sleeping right there. And to prove that I've been feeding her, I'm going to take you in here in the dark. I'm going to bring you into the refrigerator so you can see that we've also got canned food for her. I feed her the wet food right here, and you see where she claws? She scrapes dirt on top of the plate when she doesn't finish it. But there's the house. Man, that is just, oh, I love it. So I hope I can inspire you to build something for your dreams that you love. Thanks for watching.